About a year ago, I made this mallet, and it's one of my favourite things I've ever made. It looks good, it feels good, and it works pretty well too. Over the last year, a few people have mentioned that I should try making some of these to sell, and recently I thought, why don't I just give it a go and see what happens? What do you think, Winnie? Who's that? Say like and subscribe. Say subscribe. I don't have any more Desert Ironwood, but what I do have is some maple, some sapele, some walnut, and I think I can make some pretty cool mallets using a combination of these. These woods should also be a lot easier to work with than the Desert Ironwood was, and with my limited tools that's going to be crucial. And when I say limited tools, I'm aware I have a decent number of great tools, but not having certain machines like bandsaws, table saws and lathes, it is going to make things a little bit harder. So far, I've taken some measurements from my old Desert Ironwood mallet, as I really like the way this one looks and feels. And recently, I've been trying to get a little better about planning my builds and working more consistently and methodically, especially since I plan on selling these mallets. This will be the first time I'm attempting to sell something that I've made. I've done one or two smaller commissions for family and friends before, but that was people specifically asking me to make something for them. Nobody is asking for these. But part of this project is to stop thinking about all the reasons why I can't or shouldn't do this and just give it a go and learn from whatever does or doesn't happen. Right, so I've got 2 bits of maple marked up with 9 mallet heads each and a section marked where I'm going to cut a mortise for a handle to go through. I think I'm going to stick to 9 for now and do 3 with maple handles, 3 with walnut handles and 3 with sapele handles. I'm using a combination of woods to build these, but all of the mallet heads are going to be maple because it's harder and heavier than the other woods. Or that's what I thought initially. The more I work with this maple, the more I suspect it's soft maple and not hard maple, which means it's a similar weight and hardness to cherry or black walnut. It's still perfectly suitable for mallet heads though, and in some cases softer is better. Like my old mallet, I'm going for a laminated head on these, partly because I don't have any maple thick enough, and partly because it'll make cutting the mortises a little easier by doing them in 2 halves. I've just used the track saw to rough cut all the mortises, and now I'm coming back with the chisel to clean things up. I've used the track saw a few times now for processes like this, and it's pretty damn useful and surprisingly versatile. With each mortise cut, I can glue both halves together. Alright, while this dries, we'll cut some stuff to make handles. I'm using a selection of maple, walnut and sapele for the handles, mainly because I think they'll look nice in combination with the maple heads, and the first step is getting them all to the same thickness, which I'm doing with the hand plane. And then it'll be back to the track saw again to cut the tenons on these. Once again, I'm attempting to save some time here by cutting all the tenons at once, and my genius solution to keep all of these bits of wood together is to use tape. And as you can see, it's pretty secure. Then I can lay the track on top, set the depth, and start cutting. Batching things like this is definitely worth doing when making more than one of something. If I was just making one of these handles, I'd probably just use a saw and chisels, but making multiple that way would take a while, so doing it this way, I can get the bulk of the work done in a fraction of the time. With the tenons roughed out, I can come in with the chisel and do some very satisfying cleanup. And then it's back to the track saw once again to cut all of the handles to rough size. The more I use the track saw for tasks like this, the more I'm convinced a table saw could be a hugely beneficial tool for me in the workshop. I'm just not sure where I'd put it, or how I'd power it. For now, the track saw works well enough. It just takes a bit of finagling to get it set for all the different cuts I need to make. When I'm in the workshop making stuff, I tend to flip-flop between really enjoying using just hand tools and really enjoying using a power tool or machine. And that's not to say I need to or want to decide and stick to one way or the other. Often it just comes down to whichever I prefer the most at the time. But with this project in particular, where I'm making a bunch of the same thing, I think there are certain processes where I'm starting to see the value of machines more and more. Being able to set up and make repeated cuts for different components like the mallet heads and handles makes total sense with machines. And then later on, when it comes to the shaping and joinery, I'll switch over to using hand tools more. Alright, so I've got 9 mallet heads and 11 handles, so I've got a few spare handles in case anything goes wrong. There's a few areas to tidy up on these mallet heads, and the first area I'm going to tackle is these mortise heads. Some of them became a little bit offset as part of the glue up. Some are fine, but most need just a little bit of cleanup to make sure they're nice and square. Cleaning up and squaring these mortises is somewhere that hand tools were definitely a better option than power tools. But you could argue that had I used a bit more accuracy in the first place, then I wouldn't have needed to do this extra cleanup. But it was nice to slow down and just do a repetitive task with my old mallet and a cup of tea for a bit. Alright, that's all of the mortises squared up and good to go. I think what I'm going to do next is move on and do just one handle, get that fit up into a mallet head, work out any areas where I might go wrong before I start on the rest of them. I'm also a little impatient, and I'm excited to get to the part where I get some glue on and hammer in some wedges. This is one of those moments in a project where you can start to see the finished piece, and the urge to press forward and finish is strong. But there are still quite a few steps to do before this will be finished. Here I'm paring down the tenons so that they fit nice and snug inside the mortises. When I cut them with the track saw, I intentionally left them a little oversized, so I could ensure a perfect fit in each different mallet head. I think if I had a little more experience or confidence, I could have gotten closer to a final fit sooner and saved myself some time here, so that's a learning for next time. Alright, that is a nice, tight and snug fit. Maybe even too snug, but I'm particularly pleased with the fit around here between the handle and the mallet head. That is super tight. What I'm going to do next is cut some wedges and cut the slots for those wedges to go in. I'm going to make maple wedges the same as the mallet head so that it contrasts nicely with the handle. And then before I glue everything together and put those wedges in, I'm going to shape the transition from the handle into the mallet head because it'll be difficult to shape that after I've glued it all together. I mentioned earlier that I'm trying to get a bit better about making plans and following them. But sometimes it's still nice to just eyeball things and go on instinct, which is what I'm doing here. I'm making a few simple marks on the handle where I want it to transition from thicker to thinner, and because the handles on each of the mallets are more of an organic shape and don't need to be exactly the same, a simple pencil mark here will be more than adequate. But on the mallet head, I am marking some proper lines. I need to cut a couple of angles onto the mallet head which will make it so that the striking faces will hit a chisel more flat than if it was just cut square, and it also makes it look a little more refined. Something else I'm doing to refine the mallet heads is shaping the underside where the handle will go in. It's a sort of really heavy chamfer which, once sanded, leaves this nice rounded softer area, which I think makes it look a lot nicer than just being flat. And it should be a little more comfortable if you're gripping the mallet up closer to the head. Okay, time to cut some slots in the tenon and try out the first mallet assembly. I'm not adding tons of glue here because I don't think it will need it. The fit is nice and snug anyway, and by the time the wedges go in, that'll make everything nice and tight and stable. Speaking of the wedges, this is something that was definitely worth testing once on this mallet before doing it on all the others. Okay, so as you saw, the mortise with the wedges didn't open up quite wide enough. I've got a gap on this side. The rest of it looks pretty good, but yeah, this little gap is not great. But that's the whole reason why I did this as a test before I moved on and did all the rest of them. I think what's happened is either my tapered mortise... I'm going to interrupt myself here because I'm wrong, and since filming I've realised what actually happened. The reason these didn't work as well as they should was that the wedges were just too long, so they bottomed out in the slots before they could push the tenon wide enough to fill the mortise, which I can fix for the rest of the mallets. To fix this one, I'm going to glue in an extra little wedge of Sapele down into that gap and hopefully disguise the mistake. But otherwise, it's feeling pretty good. With one done, I can move on and repeat and refine the process on all of the other mallets. All right, time for attempt number 2. As you can see, this one is going much better, which is more or less down to having the right size wedges, which just goes to show you that having a proper plan definitely helps. If you're enjoying this build so far, I'd really appreciate if you consider subscribing, giving a thumbs up, or leaving a comment, as it really helps the channel out. This part of the project probably took the longest, as I had to carefully pare down all of the tenons individually to fit all of the mortises. And as I mentioned earlier, I think if I'd spent just a little more time getting these to fit better in the first place, I could have saved myself a lot of time here. But it ended up being a nice activity to do in the evenings after work, which is basically sitting on a computer all day. And before long, I had a bunch of mallets ready for some final shaping. Okay, so that's all the mallets glued up. Now it's time to trim the mortises and shape the handles. Sawing tenons flush like this can be incredibly satisfying. And it was, mostly. But there were a few where I hadn't got the fit quite as perfect as I would have liked. But then there were a few that looked great. Not perfect, but still great. Shaping the handles was another process carried out in evenings after work, and now that spring is here, it's a very pleasant activity, and one that doesn't require a lot of problem solving or thought, which makes it a perfect time to listen to music or audiobooks. And listening to music or audiobooks definitely makes the sanding more bearable. I want to get these mallets looking nice and smooth, and that requires a lot of sanding, which takes ages. But it's worth it in the end. After sanding, I move on to finishing, and I'm using some tung oil on these, as it's apparently a good, hard-wearing finish that's ideal for tools and tool handles. I'm going to do a couple of coats of this, giving a very light sand between coats, and then I'm going to give them all a bit of wax polish to give them some extra shine and finish them off. But I'm not quite done yet. First, I'm going to test one of these mallets before I sell them to make sure they're not just going to explode 5 minutes into being used. And then I need to actually, sell them. And to do that, I'm going to do some product photography and build a website. If you'd like to see a longer video with more details on how I set up this photography space for getting these product shots, let me know down in the comments. If you'd like to buy one of these mallets, head over to my website. There's a link in the description. And if you'd like to see more of my videos, why not head over to my channel and subscribe. As ever, thanks for watching.